What's going on, guys? It's Nick Palladino. Welcome to
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. As you guys know, you guys all probably know Ricky, but we are doing a Q&A together today. This is our second one that we've ever done. I've had this YouTube channel for almost 2 years now, so we're doing one a year now. But we have about 8 to 10 questions here, mostly real estate related. We have just a couple general questions that I figured would be entertaining for you guys too, and educational as well for you guys to get the answers to. So we're gonna jump into it and start with question number 1. This came from, and all these came from my Instagram, by the way. If you could go back in time to your early 20s and change one thing, what would it be? So I'm 20, almost 28 now. He's a little younger than me. So if I can go back in my early 20s and change one thing, I'd just say stop postponing everything and just get started with whatever it may be as soon as possible. For me, it was I wish I had just realized how easy it could have been for me to purchase properties, and instead I just thought that it was the most difficult thing, so I just kept postponing it, and I got pre-qualified at 25 years old when I could have easily have done that at 21, 22. So I guess my biggest thing is to just get started now and don't wait.
Yeah, I would say that if I was I ended up buying my first house at 20. But one of the things that I always like to say is that I wish I was more proactive at age 20. One thing that you can take from his experience and my experience is that everyone is so scared when purchasing a property because of I think what just society kind of makes it out to be. And trust me, I get it. It's a property. It's a lot of money. Even if you don't make a lot of money, I remember I was someone that did just fine. But I was like, oh my God, I'm taking out a $170,000 loan. This is for the next 30 years. I'm 20 years old. I haven't even lived 30 years. I don't know if these are obstacles or challenges that you're going through in your mind. All I have to say is that as soon as I began to make videos on YouTube, encouraging people that if you're actually interested in the smallest way to learn more about how and what it is that you need to do to qualify, one of our guys here is one of the youngest guys that works with us here at TechBuds. He got pre-qualified in about 2 to 3 months. He worked with Nick as an agent, and I think 2 or 3 months later, he bought his first property. I can reassure you that the process is not as scary.
Second question, what is your daily routine like nowadays? I figured this would be interesting. For me and him are a little bit different. He gets up way earlier than I do, but lately I've been getting up 6:30 to 7 o'clock, which is actually a little bit earlier than what I used to do. And then I start my day, I obviously go to the gym. That's the first thing that I do because I cannot do anything else until I go to the gym, and if I skip the morning gym, then I won't go at all the entire day. After that, I like to get all my hard tasks out of the way. I do a lot of computer stuff, so I sit in his movie room, which is where my office is, and spend a couple hours on my computer. We currently have, I think, 5 projects going on right now. He's renovating his rental, I'm renovating my personal property. We have 3 flips, so it's been a lot of driving around in between, meeting contractors, checking up on the how progress is going on all 5 of those houses. So the last month or 2 has been a lot of driving around and just a lot of actual kind of field work, I guess you can say. And then I usually end that around 5 p.m. I'll go to the gym for a second time to do cardio, and then I'll usually work through the rest of the night, but very loosely, not a lot of heavy work. It's kind of like watching Netflix in the back, do emails and all that kind of stuff for the rest of the night. And that's pretty much my routine. His is probably a little bit different.
Yeah, I would say that my intent to start around 6 to 6:30. I trade live at Market Open with my group, so that is something that always gets me up in the morning. After that live trading session, I will continuously trade just for myself for about 1 hour to 2 hours after. My goal every time after that trading session is, just because I have Nick I had him as a roommate, to meet up with him at the gym at around 8:30 to 9 in the morning is normally when he tends to go. So I try to get there normally around 9:30 maybe. I work out for about 30 minutes to 45, very light workout in comparison to Nick. After that, we go on back. I either have to, first off, film my video for YouTube, and then after that first video is done, then I can start working with my team if it's either on the e-commerce side, if it's working with Nick on the real estate side. Nick literally does everything on the real estate side. I'm literally just like the okay guy, or kept up to date with what is going on with the projects. And almost for every kind of business and or sector of like what makes up our company. I am pretty much just like the okay or the face of it, but there's always someone behind it that really makes it happen. So other than that, I just have to really just manage my trading group and update my social media platform. So it might look like I'm personally doing a lot, but I just have such an amazing team that make up the different parts of what it is that we do that makes it look like I'm a lot busier than I actually am.
It's awesome to see kind of how he grew into that too, because I moved here about 2 years ago, and to see him develop the team so he can be able to do what he's doing right now is incredible, because he has experts in every single field. And then me and him, like a lot of the back and forth we do is all via text or phone call. I'll like send him pictures, I'll send him deals, and if I'm like, this is what I think we can get it for, this is what I think it can sell for, he just gives me the go ahead. So a lot of our communication now that we're not roommates is actually just via text message, and it's probably a couple times a day for sure I'm in contact with him, and then I'll stop by the office every once in a while, like today actually. Third question, what was your first year in real estate like? Mine was 2019. I actually met up with his real estate agent, who's now my mentor, Lenny, and I just spent a weekend here kind of hanging out with him and the team, and checked out 3 properties. I liked the second one, put an offer on the second one, and I got that accepted. But the first year, that was literally the only thing I did in real estate. Didn't get any flips, didn't do anything else really besides spending that weekend looking at that property, closing on it, and then moving tenants in, which so far that's been my great student rental, and it's still rented out to students to this day.
So my first year in real estate, again, I think it was about 10 or 11 days before I turned 21. So I was 20 at the time. I bought the property, and right away, one of the things that I feel like I did kind of well was I was eager right after I got into that first property. My mortgage was under $1,000. Again, I purchased this property for $170,000. I had 2 roommates that were each paying me $550. So if you do the math, I was living in the master. I rented out 2 of the rooms. I was paying for my mortgage and living for free. So it was like a win-win. I was like, this is amazing. How do I buy another one? That's what really sparked my interest. So within my first year, I started working with my lenders and asking them those difficult questions. What is it that I need to make? What is it that I need to save? Where does my credit score need to be so I can qualify for another property? It was actually a year later that I ended up buying my neighbor's house. If you guys have followed me on YouTube, that's been kind of like our thing, where I bought my house and then I bought my neighbor's house.
What are the lessons you learned from previous flips that you can keep in mind for the future? For me, it's not always about the cheapest contractors. It's about their time frame and their quality of work, and then also if they stick to their word. That's something that I've taken away, especially this last year. It's like the cheapest guy's not always better, and I've had big problems with people just canceling on jobs, especially for his rental. We went through 3 different flooring people that cancel on us. So for me, it's just finding trustworthy people that you can send over, even though they may be a little bit more expensive. It's well worth it.
Yeah, I would say for myself, again, since I'm a little bit more hands-off, when it came down to one of our biggest projects, a lot of you guys might have seen, is the Paradise Valley house flip. I feel like I ended up getting I don't want to say upset. I was just bothered how we ended up accepting an offer, when we were 60 days into that property, much lower than what our asking price was. But just a couple of days of listing the property, we accepted a very much higher offer, but we were not willing, right? Or the series of partners that we had were not as creative to negotiate with that specific individual. So my biggest issue that I've learned, especially with the larger dollar amounts, and even with other properties that we've had, where at the end of the day, like, we want to have a fluid transaction and a just fluid transition from buyer to seller, right? And I just feel like we really dropped the ball on that luxury flip, where we had an offer for $3.7 million, but we ended up accepting an offer at $3.2 million. And my disconnect there was, why weren't we more creative with the 3.7 million and giving them more credits to have potentially ended at 3.6 or 3.5, when we left so much money on the table and then just took whatever was presented to us because I guess time was of the essence or something. That's all I have to really speak from that. The only other thing is we have a Gilbert flip that recently went under contract. They came back with a counter offer. I just didn't hesitate on that one to agree just based off of that previous experience to their secondary offer and stuff like that.
No, 100% agree. What are some strong habits that are important as a real estate agent and in business in general? I would say one of the things I noticed from Ricky that I've been utilizing a lot is how consistent he is with whatever it is he may do. So my biggest thing is strong habits is just be as consistent as possible no matter what it is. Consistency will just overpower pretty much anything if you're consistent with something.
I would have to say, so I'm not a real estate agent, right? But one thing that I have to say, speaking from his experience, and again, I'm not here to hype up my business partner for no apparent reason, but I've worked with a lot of different agents. And my biggest issue every single time, think about it. Again, I'm speaking to you as a normal person, and I get that this is a YouTube video. Real estate agent, like, you're there to represent someone and be of service to someone. And when you make or schedule like viewings at properties, and that real estate agent, if they are not willing to put in the time, put in the effort to go out of their way to be of value to you, I don't feel like they earned everything. I feel like no one deserves anything. I don't care about your commission. I don't care if I signed an addendum. I just won't buy the property at that point. My biggest thing is I feel like everyone should earn everything. And Nick does such an amazing job with every single client, just going out of his way to fit and meet their needs. If they're an aggressive buyer because they just need to find a property, and or if you're a new home buyer and you just want to make sure that you get a good deal, that you want there to be some margin, then to not be so pushy, to understand your needs. And again, just being consistent, being reliable, and being someone that goes out of their way, changing their plans to accommodate a potential client. Think about it. Like, I get it that, it's just a couple $1,000. Well, a couple $1,000 is a lot of money, and everyone is always eager to make this money, right? This commission. So why not provide a good experience for a potential new home buyer? And I have never, again, I don't care to toot his own horn, right? But I have never seen anyone go out of their way so much where he's just always on his laptop. Almost sometimes it's counterproductive, but where he is so attentive to be of service to any potential new home buyer. So hard money. This is actually I wanted so one of the questions that he has up right now is hard money loan requirements. Well, first off, at this point with how many deals we're doing, I don't do hard money loans. It's just not of value to me. The money that I have available, I want to invest it into our flip projects and or other projects. I just don't do hard money loans anymore, right? You can get them for like 12 to 15%. You have to put a couple points down. You could look into it. It's a copy and paste template. One of the things for everyone watching this video right now, especially, I can't stress this enough, especially if you're in Arizona, you guys might be watching this video like, well, what are the chances I have of potentially flipping a house? The biggest thing that is of value right now is not cash, but it's the deals. If you present to someone like Nick and I a deal, we will pay you for it. If you are someone that's good at allocating deals, then message us on Instagram. Message Nick on Instagram. He will get back to you 100%. If you are actually good at getting off-market deals, we'll pay you a couple $1,000 in the 4 figures, in the 5 figures, depending on the deal. You literally do not have to put $1 down.
Same with out of state. I mean, if you have a deal and the deal's good, you'll easily be able to find someone that will fund it. Like, regardless, the hardest part's finding the deal. Funding will come for sure.
Yeah.
And that's it on the video, guys. We went through all the questions that you guys had. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the questions. For those of you guys that asked it, if you guys do want to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and his YouTube, everything will be linked down below for that.
Don't follow me if you're not going to send me any real estate deals, okay? Capiche?